I'd like to discuss another way to handle the melody. We've talked about phrasing to make the melody seem warmer and more personal. There's another way that we can deal with the melody that will move us towards improvising, and this is called ornamentation. And ornamentation is really dressing up the melody. It's just like when we go to a party, you know, when the lady wears a comb in her hair, or she wears a ribbon in her hair, or a man wears a particular thing around his neck. It's ornamentation, it's dress up. And this is what we do to the notes that we play. And by doing this, we again add a personal expression, and we give the note a certain character. Now I'll show you what I mean. For instance, there's a thing called fingered glissando. Now the fingered glissando would be like this. You can almost see and hear the fingers moving because the pick is only attacking the first note. But listen to the fingered glissando. Moving in the opposite direction, it would be. Now, there's another way to descend or ascend, which is more severe. It's called a portamento. And that is, you do not move from one note to the next, up or down, by gradually fingering in that direction, but it's a deliberate, brusque, and brisk move like this. That's a portamento. There's another thing called a smear or a fall off, and you've heard many bands do that when they play a chord. Instead of just going, they'll play. Now that's fall off is a smear or a fall off. And there's another thing you can do when you're playing these notes to give them a certain character. One of the things would be to bend a note into its pitch. That is, you don't hit the ultimate pitch. You don't play and attack the ultimate pitch, but you bend into it so that instead of playing, you would play in that manner. I'll do that again. Instead of, you would bend into, and that gives it a character. Another thing you can do are called grace notes. Instead of just playing the notes and hitting them right on the head squarely as they really are, you precede it by playing very quickly a note that is 1/2 step lower than the note that you want, and then playing the note that you desire. For instance, instead of playing, by playing 1/2 step before each note, but very quickly into these notes that I just played, you're using those fast notes, and they're called grace notes, and it gives it this character. Instead of, you play. It's another way to think about it. Another thing that we can use is called the turn. That is, you not only play a note, but you very quickly play the next note in the scale above it back to this note, and that's called a turn. Instead of playing, you play, instead of playing, you play. At any time in that melody, you can play the note that you wish and play the next scale note above it, returning to it quickly, and this is called a turn. By employing all of these devices, these ornamentations, and many, many more that exist in music, you can have a variety of ways to express yourself and still never leave the melody. Now, when you begin to add the ornamentation with the phrasing, this opens up a lot of possibilities for you, and you're still staying with the melody. Quite often, musicians will listen to the melody being played in this manner, and they will thoroughly enjoy the melody. There are very few musicians who have developed the art of playing melody and making it interesting. These two ways that I've discussed with you are ways where you do not leave the melody, and yet you make it really live through the coloration you give it, through the ornamentation, and through the metric feeling that you get by phrasing it. Now, I have written a song especially for this course, and it's something that I'm going to play for you now, and I would like you to hear the melody straight, and after you hear it the way I wrote it, I will then play it again, and this time I will use ornamentation and phrasing of the melody and not include any extra notes. And I have created a rhythm track for this so that I could play the melody for you against a backing that I created previously. So here we go with a song that I've created for you called Take It Easy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, when you're playing a melody such as I wrote, or any kind of melody that you play in a straightforward manner, you want to exhibit great taste and discretion in your playing. You want to not overdo the phrasing and not overdo the ornamentation so that the melody is disguised, but rather through good taste and sparingly employ these ways of changing the melody and yet exhibit the good taste. So at this time, I'm going to play this rhythm track for you once again, and this time I'm going to phrase the melody and also use ornamentation. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now, I would like to play a rhythm pattern for you and have you join me, first of all, playing the melody as I wrote it, and it will be indicated on the screen for you. And after that, to use the same backing that I give you at this time and play along and make your own ornamentation and your own phrasing. You might start out by simply phrasing the melody and then later use ornamentation, and finally, playing it over and over, you might use both, the phrasing and the ornamentation. So I'm going to play this for you right now, and I'm going to count this off so that you can come in with me. I will count 2 measures for you in this manner. I will go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and I will leave the 4th beat silent. So here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.